welcome to a new episode of our weekly program On the Hot Seat. Today we're going to be conducting this exclusive interview with a very interesting guest who's going to tell us more about smart grids and the developments of its kind here in Africa, and how can there be better cooperation between Egypt and other African nations in order to ensure that we are using new technology that would benefit our population. We're very much delighted to have joining us here for this evening engineer Abel DiDier, if I pronounced that right. He's the Director General of the Association of Power Utilities of Africa. Thank you very much for joining us on the hot seat, sir.
Thank you indeed to invite me to have this interview.
Okay, this is we're here in light of the second power grid, if I may say, for Africa, and this is the first time it's being held in Egypt. Tell us about the importance of this conference.
This is the second conference that we are having on smart grid in Africa. The first one was in Abidjan in 2013. Why smart grid? Why are we organizing it? First of all, I'm talking about our association, the Association of Power Utility of Africa, formerly known as the Union of Producer and Distributor of Energy in Africa, UPDA, was formed in 1970. So 45 years ago, some utility gathered to form an association to exchange experience, interact, and help the African Union to build a united power sector in Africa. And in this means that we created, with the support of the Commission of African Union, in 2008, we set the African Electrotechnical Standardization Commission, AFSEC, who is linked to AFREC, the African Commission on Energy. And the AFSEC is dealing with standardization. So why we started talking about smart grid? Today, we don't have power available all the time for all the country, in any country in Africa. The resources are not spread all over in Africa. So what we have is that by using the smart grid, we can make power more available. We can use more efficiency all renewable energy facility to have mixed energy in the network, and also to have a smarter supply of the customer, because you know that we are using today electronic meter, but they are smart meter. They are meter who knows when, how the consumer is using energy, how to program the customer to have better supply. So smart grid is today in our life. So in energy also we have smart grid. Why a forum in Africa? Africa cannot stay long from the development of the world. Africa represented today more or less not far from 2 billion people, and we still have 700 million without good connection to electricity. So by using smart grid, we can reach more people with what we have today.
For those who are not very much aware of what smart grid is, what can you tell us about what exactly is smart grid and how costly is it?
Okay. You have your meter. Formally, we call this electromechanic meter. You consume energy, we have just a meter. We come every end of month or 2 months and read the meter, charge you. Later on, we start using prepaid meter. Prepaid meter is that you have the meter, you buy unit, you download in, you have energy. Today, with your meter, you use your smartphone to put energy in your meter. You can use internet to put energy in your meter. You can buy energy everywhere, where you like, when you like. So this is why we call it smart application. When the cell phone, we started using the first cell phone, we don't have any smart application. Cell phone transform our life. So today, the use of new technology in energy metering is called smart, because you are using communication to know exactly with your customer how is it consuming energy, what is his need. The customer can dialogue with the supplier through smart application. So all smart application, the using of new technology in energy is called smart. Why smart grid? You know that on the grid you have different sort of energy. You have fossil fuel energy, you have renewable energy, but today how more efficient you can make this energy combine together to supply your customer. Only smart grid allow to put it together.
Yeah. Don't you think, sir, that this kind of use was going to rather take a long years or a bit of a more time, because it requires the cooperation of different sectors in a country or a nation, and especially as you said, Africa is a developing continent. We already have a lot of problems with networking. I mean, if you're going to use a smartphone, you're going to need to ensure good quality network, and so on. It's like a vicious circle. What are your recommendations to ensure that we apply this kind of grid accurately and in the shortest time possible?
If you see what happened with the telecommunication, some country went from line communication straight to GSM and then to smart. Today in Africa, we have more or less 700 million smartphones working. 10 years ago, we cannot imagine this penetration of smartphones. Africa will not going to wait another 20 years to use smart technology. Like we cannot imagine 10 years ago what smartphone will be in Africa. Today, we have to go in advance and sensitize our utilities, our decision maker. Many ministers are coming here because we have to sensitize them, saying that we cannot wait long. Africa cannot escape the development. So if Europe or America spent 100 years to come to this, Africa don't have 20 years, less than 20 years to come to it. So we started speaking about smart grid in Africa, not to be surprised.
Well, but what do you think are the barriers that are constraining this part of the world from being developed in terms of the simple things that have been already ongoing for long years in other nations, especially when we're talking about technology? There's so much advances that took place in technology now in the West, and in some parts of the Arab world or even Africa, they're still in their primary stages. Is it the lack of resources, lack of finances? Is it the lack of human or manpower? What is it exactly that is the barrier for the development success of this nation?
The challenge in Africa is we are playing on three fields. First one, the economic development. We hear that despite the crisis, Africa has been for 10 years developing at the rate of 5 to 6%. Secondly, the growth of the population. Africa is reaching in some years 2 billion people. And third one, we need to face all this huge potential that we have, which is not transformed into modern energy. So if you want to combine all those. There are strengths and there are challenges. Why a challenge? Because we have to feed people, growing population. We have to give power to fast-growing mining sector, fast-growing town. From these 2 billion people, half of them will be living in towns. Our towns is fast-growing towns. So today, the challenge that we have is first capital resources, because the potential we already have, the natural resources we have abundantly for all Africa. How to raise capital? Today, no one state can gather all the capital to develop this potential. The public-private